Hello, welcome back to the reading of the poem of the Man God, written by Maria Valtorta, Volume 2, Chapter 259, Part 1. Peter speaks to Doris's peasants about the LoveWhichis Salvation. 22nd August, 1945. My dear friends, what are you doing near this fire? Asks Jesus when he finds his disciples round a well-fed fire, which blazes in the early evening shadows at a crossroads in the plain of Esdraelon. The apostles start as if they did not see him come, and they forget the fire to greet the Master. They look as if they had not seen him for ages. They then explain, "Listen, we've settled an issue between two brothers from Jezreel, and they were so pleased that they gave us a lamb each. We decided to cook them and give them to Doris's men. Micah of Johanan slaughtered and prepared them, and we are now going to roast them. Your mother has gone with Mary and Susanna to tell Doris's men to come here after Vesper, when the steward goes home to tipple. Women do not attract attention so much. We endeavored to see them pretending we were wayfarers passing by their fields, but we did not do much. We decided to gather here this evening and say a little more for their souls and satisfy also their bodies, as you have done in the past. And now that you are here, it will be even more pleasant." Who is going to speak? Well, a little each, informally. We are not capable of doing any more. Also because John, the zealot, and your brother do not want to speak. We even quarreled over that, says Peter. Why do those 5 not want to speak? John and Simon, because they say that it is not right that they should be the ones who always speak. Your brother, because he wants me to speak and says that if I never start. Bartholomew, because he is afraid that he may speak too masterly and that he may not succeed in convincing people. You can see that they are excuses. And you, Judas of Simon, why do you not want to speak? For the same reasons as the others, for all those reasons, because they are all fair. Many reasons, but not one is specified. I will now decide, and my verdict will be inappellable. You, Simon of Jonah, shall speak, as Thaddeus wisely says, and you, Judas of Simon, shall also speak. Thus, one of the many reasons, the one known to God and to you, will no longer exist. Master, believe me, there is nothing else, Judas endeavors to retort. But Peter cuts him short, saying, "O my Lord, how can I speak in your presence? I shall never be able. I am afraid you may laugh at me. You do not want to be alone. You do not want to be with me. What do you want?" "You are right, but what shall I say?" "There is your brother coming with the lambs. Help him, and while you are cooking them, think it over. Everything helps to find a subject." "Also lamb on a spit?" asks Peter incredulously. "Yes, so obey." Peter heaves a deep sigh, a really pitiful one, but does not reply. He goes towards Andrew and helps him to fix the lambs onto a sharpened stick, which is used as a spit, and he watches them cooking with such a grave countenance that he looks like a judge on the point of passing sentence. "Judas of Simon, let us go and meet the women," orders Jesus, and he goes away through the barren fields of Doras. Judas, a good disciple, does not despise what his master does not despise. He says, after a little while, without wasting words, "Master, I do not despise, but like Bartholomew, I feel that I would not be understood, and I prefer not to speak. Nathanael is afraid that he may not fulfill my desire, which is to enlighten and relieve hearts. He is at fault too, because he lacks confidence in the Lord. But you are much more at fault, because you are not afraid of not being understood, but you disdain being understood by poor peasants who are ignorant of everything, except virtue. They surpass many of you. In fact, as far as virtue is concerned, you have not yet understood anything, Judas. The gospel is really the good news brought to the poor, the sick, the afflicted and the slaves. Later it will be given also to others, but it is given just to assist and relieve those who suffer from all kinds of misfortunes. Judas lowers his head but does not reply. The Blessed Virgin, Mary of Clopas, and Susanna appear, coming out from a thicket. I greet you, Mother. Peace to you women. Son, I went to those poor wretches, but I was given news that did not make me suffer too much. Doras has gotten rid of his land, and Johanan has taken it. It is not paradise, but it is no longer hell. The steward told the peasants today. He has already gone, taking away on his carts all the corn to the last grain, and thus leaving everybody without anything to eat. And as Johanan's steward today has food only for his own men, Doras's peasants were to be left with nothing to eat. Those lambs are really providential. It is also providential that the men no longer belong to Doras. We saw their houses, pigsties, says Susanna, who is obviously scandalized. The poor people are so happy, concludes Mary of Clopas. I am too. They will be better off than previously, replies Jesus, going towards the apostles. John of Endor joins him, carrying some pitchers of water, which he is taking along with Amastius. Johannan's men gave them to us, he explains, after greeting Jesus respectfully. They all go towards the spot where they are roasting the 2 lambs in a thick cloud of greasy smoke. Peter keeps turning his spit, and in the meantime he broods over his thoughts. Judas Thaddeus, instead, is walking backwards and forwards, engrossed in conversation, holding one arm round his brother's waist. Of the other apostles, some bring firewood, some lay the table, carrying large stones to be used as seats or as a table. I do not know. Doras's peasants arrive. They are thinner and more ragged than ever, but they are so happy. They are about 20 in number, and there is not even a child or a woman with them. Poor men, all alone. Peace to you all, and let us bless the Lord for giving you a better master. Let us bless him by praying for the conversion of the man who has caused you to suffer so much. Is that right? Are you happy, old father? I am glad too. I shall be able to come more frequently with the boy. Have they told you? You are weeping for joy, are you not? Come here. Be not afraid, he says, speaking to Margium's grandfather, who stoops, kissing his hand, and weeping, whispers, I beg nothing else of the Most High. He has granted me more than I asked. I would now like to die, lest I should live so long that suffering may overwhelm me again. The peasants, who were somewhat embarrassed being with the master, soon take heart again. And when the 2 lambs are laid on large leaves, arranged on the stones brought previously, and the portions are made, each of them is placed on a large bread cake that serves also as a dish. They relax in their simplicity, and they eat with relish, satisfying their hunger after starving so long. They talk of the recent events. One of them says, I have always cursed locusts, moles, and ants, but from now on they will look like messengers of the Lord to me, because it is through them that we are leaving hell. And although the comparison of ants and locusts with angelical cohorts is somewhat queer, nobody laughs, because they all perceive the tragic circumstances concealed in those words. The fire lights up the assembly, but their faces do not look at the flame. Neither do they pay much attention to what is in front of them. All eyes are turned towards Jesus' face, and are diverted only for a few moments when Mary of Alphaeus, who is busy making portions, lays more meat on the flat bread cakes of the hungry peasants. And she finishes her work by wrapping 2 roasted legs in some large leaves, and says to Margium's grandfather, Take this. You will have a morsel each also tomorrow, and Johannan's steward in the meantime will provide something. But what about you? We will have less to carry. Take it, man. Of the 2 lambs there is nothing left but the picked bones, and the persistent smell of dripping fat still burning on the fire, which is dying out, and its light is being replaced by moonlight. Johannan's men also join the others. It is the moment to speak to them. This has been a reading from the poem of the Man God, written by Maria Valtorta, Volume 2. Chapter 259, Peter Speaks, Part 1. Peter speaks to Doras's peasants about the love which is salvation. Thank you for listening. I will see you tomorrow. May God bless you, and may peace be with you.